Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We're sick.
We're sick.
I have COVID.
And I probably have COVID.
Yeah. I'm like on the mend from COVID, and David's now entering his second COVID era. We love.
We love to see it.
It wasn't this bad as last time, though, let me tell you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good.
Last time I had chills that sucked.
Yeah.
This time I didn't have chills. And my joints didn't ache as much.
That's good.
I think my headache was a bit worse this time, though.
Yeah.
Constant searing pain in my head.
So far I just have like the mild headache and like congestion and throat sore.
Yeah.
And then like a little bit of like, hello, Jero.
Hi, Jero.
And then like a little.
We're just saying we're sick.
We're sick.
I have COVID. David might have COVID. He probably does.
Yeah.
I just tested positive like a few mornings ago, and
like I took the test, but it's like there's nothing else it could be, and I know that sometimes
it's a negative, but
the tests are not always reliable.
No.
So my sense is that like I live with someone who has COVID, and
but when I took the test, it was like aggressively positive. It was like that line was like, like yeah.
I mean, I've definitely gotten positive tests before, but you know, I just like don't know, you know, like. And even if it's a cold, like, it's just fine.
Where is the test? Maybe the second line is, like, lightly faded in? Because, you know...
I checked it, like... and you can't read it after 30 minutes, because it's not... Like, at that point, anything you see is, like, void, because it just starts to dry out and anything could show up. That's what it says on the packet. Anyway, so with all that said, when we get into our game, the voices might not be as, like... Or I might have to like just kind of like go a little mild for some of them. I'll do my best, but just in case it gets a little tricky.
There might need coughing, and there might need me blowing of the noses.
There's an ant on your screen.
Ah! Get it out! Get it out! No, now it's on. David, you're not doing it right.
I can't stab it onto the screen. You get it.
Just blow it away.
Okay. I was trying to just flick it up and off. But
yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. It's awful.
It's the era of ants.
Yeah. God, are they back? How many are there?
They're coming back. They're at the doorway. So far, doesn't look like they're
coming for my body.
They haven't made it past the doorway yet.
That's good.
Or at least that one. I mean, there was that one.
I'm gonna get some toilet paper to blow my nose.
Yeah. So we got ants. We got COVID.
It's summertime.
It's summertime. The sun is out.
Actually, it's May. You know, it is summertime because there's already forest fires in this.
Yep, already forest fires happening. You know, we love that. I haven't smelled any smoke yet here, but
no, it's not like close to us.
I can't remember what it was, but there was something I saw about like I don't know, one of those forts, like one of those interior BC towns, being like, "This is our last stand" or something, because like they keep getting like I don't know what that means. It was just a headline, but I was like,
let's see.
Yeah,
it was on the news app.
Yeah. Gerald says it's been so hot, and yes, it really has been.
I thought it was going to be a milder day today because there was more clouds, but they kind of disappeared.
I was getting really sleepy around not that long ago, actually. I was like watching.
Fort Nelson has a fire.
Fort Nelson has the fire right now?
Yeah. And it could be overwhelmed in the next 48 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Woo!
It's wild.
Anyways, enough of that. We're going to have fun time playing a fun game.
Yeah, we're back at it.
Let's go.
With dear Phoenix Wright.
Okay, load the selective save data.
So when we last left, we're back with Mr. Meekins, and he's going to help us identify this person in the videotape. Very well. Begin your testimony.
Next testimony. Mystery Man 2.
Mystery Man 2. Let's go. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir.
What is it?
To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Uh-huh. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor.
Sorry. Should we turn off the dryer? I can hear it. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right. That's too bad. I don't want those things to get soggy.
Yeah, they should be fine.
Oh well.
Hopefully. Thank you for all your laundry doing.
Yeah.
Okay. You read this?
Yes, I have the ID card here. The record of it.
Who's...
The ID card used at 5:14.
Who's 7-7?
Yeah, is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. I really hit the doesn't there. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. It's time to press...
Everything.
Timber.
Everything.
We're pressing. One other thing that proves the man was Detective Gooden, sir. What is it? So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you?
Yeah. Skinny.
Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my
Stone
hand...
can't be that solid.
That's true.
It's probably like soapstone or something.
The water can carve the stone. It's an old proverb.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But
It's
could be.
something.
Could be. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. I just realized I based that guy's voice on those like monsters from Monsters Inc. The two comic relief where it was like going around. I was watching Monsters at Work, like the TV series.
Oh yeah.
It's cute. It's definitely obviously it skews young, but it's cute. And they're in it, so just recognize that.
Yeah. I see it.
Couldn't he just use his right hand for that?
Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. This is true. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card.
Haha.
Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir! This card right next to my cuff, sir! I keep it here so I won't ever forget it! But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Well, maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer only has one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. ID card is used. There's a record of it. Hold it.
Right. For a moment, I forgot what I was doing.
Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
Yes.
As it is.
So it is, Your Honor.
Oh my god, I can't believe that. What the heck is going on?
Not that prosecutor again.
Oh,
Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the
he must
evidence.
be gay. Mommy, is that man gay?
Mommy. Shh, don't stare at him. You got the wrong door, kid. No. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him.
At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
Hold it!
Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir, he didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got.
And save.
Alright, so what? We have the card.
Okay. There's one thing that proves the man was detected. Okay, what do we have? We have the card ourselves.
We have the card. We have the thing. We have the missing, like the lost item thing, which I think is him reporting his card or his coat.
Sorry, which one?
The lost item report that he tried to fill out, which I believe was him trying to report his lost coat or card, but he couldn't fill it out. I don't know if it's gonna come into play on this testimony because I don't know, but just flagging it. And then we also have the record itself, the ID card record, which has Edgeworth and does it have Marshall on it or no?
Oops, frick. I didn't mean to do that. We're gonna start.
Your Honor, the statement. What?
It doesn't.
I don't
Let's
see.
go back. I pressed the wrong button.
You goofed it.
Yeah. I meant to look at it. Check it out. Okay.
Bruce Goodman, Mike Meekins. Bruce Goodman, Mike Meekins. Hum.
I kind of feel like we lost momentum because we like waited a week to play it again, you know what I mean? Like I think ideas and things that were like connected kind of came from the last session of the game, you know?
That could be true.
So-
But the last session was just about the videotape.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
I did sort of rewatch it when I was hunting for clips.
Okay, so it's more fresh in your brain.
Yeah, what's a screwdriver? That's just the random evidence. Brought back to his office by Gant's request. That's not anything. Candidate wouldn't want to use their ID card. That's true. Ideas do, there's a record of it. That's true. Had used his card. Okay, I feel like this is the thing we have to contradict.
But I have his card.
Yeah, it was found late. It found at prosecutor's office crime scene. Maybe it is that.
Yes, this is it.
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir! I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. No, it doesn't. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I love it when he looks like this. This one little eye. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Hedrick doesn't give a crap. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Oh cool, he's just gonna do it for us. A lost item report. It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe there's something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. I guess the body was wearing the coat, so yeah. Order! Now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Oh my goodness. Order!
So,
Yeah.
was Goodman already dead by then? Just found in the car? Because it's assumed that the murder happened at the time when Lana was there.
Yeah.
But it probably happened earlier because there's a time.
Yeah, there's like an hour and a
So
half.
I
of
think
time.
he was already dead and he had his ID card or something. Maybe? I don't know. But then how did the ID card end up at the second crime scene?
Well, whoever killed him? I don't know.
Anyways,
But I do
we'll
think
find
he was dead like long before, like he got transported from dead place to here. Order. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is, well, I guess that's right. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, well, it seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth! The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness lies. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
Yeah, she's not trustworthy.
Yeah! Edgeworth, you could have killed him, him. Detective Goodman is gender fluid. Embrace
Surprise!
Just because his name is Goodman doesn't mean he can't embrace his feminine side.
Be a good woman.
Yeah. Good men at night, good women in the morning.
By day.
Good envy, all other times. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. I just realized they all have these concentric rings in their eyes. I thought it was just Gant, but if you look at Edgeworth's eyes, not Edgeworth's, Wright's eyes, they have this sort of just circles inside it.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, it's really clear on Gant. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Thank you. Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? I mean, I don't...
Let's save.
Yeah, I don't really think you should object. There's nothing to object with.
Yeah, let's wait and see what happens.
Better pace myself. If I rush ahead, I might run straight into another trap.
But Mr. Wright, if you don't do anything...
Seems the defense is out of ammunition. Oh, well. The surrender flag has been raised. Well, Your Honor, may we have your ruling now?
Don't give up, Mr. Wright. Get up and fight!
Okay, so we have to object. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. No. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Yes, it did show the blue badger. A lot. A lot of the blue badger. Is it the cloth?
I know, it's not the cloth, that's the jacket.
Right. However, it cannot be said it's unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. The handprint. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? Sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean...
Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? Marshall. Boop. We've got his DNA. Take that! Take that! Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. No, he's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. These courts go so fast. 20 minutes to subpoena, to prepare, to gather new evidence.
Yeah.
Court is now in recess.
Mr. Wright, we did it.
No, it's her. Her eyebrows are so thin. It's like she almost doesn't have them.
It's like they were drawn on.
She dyed her hair brown, and so she's a blonde, a natural blonde, and then her eyebrows are really thin and blonde. That's my theory.
Okay. You can have it.
We're on district court still. Lana says ... She says...
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out.
Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
Everyone in this universe wants to go to jail.
I know.
How can you be so cold?
Because, you know, you probably live better in prison than renting your own place, making your own meals. Like, yeah, get me to jail.
No. For the murder? Jail for murder? It's death row in this world, I think.
Maybe.
But she's got some sort of...
Did you already say this?
I think I did, but I'll say it again.
To reiterate, how can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Meep. ...
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. ... Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. All right. Bye. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
Yeah, give us the evidence.
Give us the evidence. You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Did we call you?
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey, 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 hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh, oh ho, oh ho ho ho, oh ho 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 ho! You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
It all makes sense.
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Would I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident... Oh, sorry. That was Phoenix.
Yeah.
But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? Files received from Lana Sky. Files for the Joe Dark killings. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Murders. Murdering. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma, but why... Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless...
I was murdered.
No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that? That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark. No. No, Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait. She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Star, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck.
Best of luck.
Best of luck.
I'd better take a good look at this file.
You better.
In 20 minutes, I expect you to memorize it.
Yes. To be continued.
To be continued.
Damn, I wonder why she's not saying anything. They better, like, have a good reason for it in the storytelling.
Do we consider Edgeworth's reason for keeping Mum good from the last episode?
Sorry, what?
Well, it's probably something similar to, like, why Edgeworth was quiet about his own thing last time.
Right, because he knew who was guilty, right? Is that what it was?
Oh, actually, was it that he thought he had killed the guy?
I think he thought he did it.
Because he, like, blacked out because he had, like, trauma from the elevator? There was a bunch of stuff about, like, his trauma and his, like, blackouts and he fainted and seizures or whatever. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Woohoo! Party!
Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Here he is. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Get along, little doggy. Me, partner. Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization.
I hate him.
Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? Desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Even the judge is like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Pissing me off. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Thank you. The one time he is actually competent. Dave the Crab.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room is protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. Well, you definitely contradict that. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. I keep shaving my beard all the time, getting little flecks of
It grows
beard.
an inch every minute.
Yeah, I like to dust my beard hair on every surface.
Ugh.
It's amazing he didn't find his hair in the evidence room.
Yeah, no kidding. That was a flaw with the character.
Flop.
Boop,
Wait a minute.
boop.
Pour my cup, put some liquor in it. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? Oh no, no one has any weaknesses. This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Should we press first, or should we jump straight to just showing him the bloody handprint where he says I wasn't there?
Let's save. I want to press. Let's press. It's more fun that way.
Okay. We're pressing, baby.
Hold it.
What do you mean, Bone Orchard? How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? Well, I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. Nothing unusual is recorded. Tapes are erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't gonna do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Thought you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you, that ain't my style. I'm bad at my job. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know. No, that's a good phrase. No desperado I know. Lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. Lies, lies, lies. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. Lies, lies, lies. How does this guy avoid being fired? I love Wright's little, disruptive mouth. It's so cute. Room is protected by 2 security systems. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
Liar.
That's quite, incredible. Sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that, too. So only the dummies don't know it's there.
Or he's faking being dumb.
This is true. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon on the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's vongole sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us? You abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not old desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to raise this year?"
Does he say that?
Does he say that? Is that his catchphrase? I'm just an innocent traveling man. I'm so innocent. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset.
Yeah.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. Okay, so it's saying don't use the fingerprint yet.
Wait. I must have blanked out. What was said?
So he said I have the trump card up my sleeve, which is the bloody handprint. But he said I'd better keep my cool and up the ante first before using it. So that says to me that if we try to present the bloody handprint now, it's going to reject it.
What else do we have? Let's try this.
Perpetrator of crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Head prosecutor Mars Evans. Witnesses: Lana Skye, Emma Skye. Official executive investigators: Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Head investigator Bruce Goodman. Investigators: Jake Marshall and Angel Star. Wow. It's not much in that giant stack of files, is there? Extremely thin. Scene of the stabbing. So is that what we would present, I guess? So he wasn't there. I just want to present.
I mean, I kind of feel like maybe you're reading into that one too much.
But he said to up the ante before he uses his trump card. Okay, so wait, go back to that one. What if we show the locker here?
It
Or
doesn't make sense to me. Why? How is that contradicting what he's saying?
because he was saying, I mean, we did kind of talk about it, but he doesn't know about the locker. But I'm just saying, like, the room is protected by two security systems: the camera and the ID card thing.
It's up there. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but the locker is the third thing.
Wait, what's this? Oh, right. Right.
So I'm saying if we're not, I'm looking for things that we can contradict without using the handprint. This is a guess.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm gonna save.
That's fair.
Boop, boop, boop.
Okay. I was an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Street side saloon. Around in the style. My job was to be wary eye.
There isn't something to directly to say that he wasn't there, because that handprint could have been from a while ago, couldn't it? Doesn't prove that he was there that day, right?
But if we bring it up, then we can bring up the cloth as well. Well, that's the one with the prince's wife. The print had been wiped. But we found his print on the other thing. Oh, it is Marshall's fingerprint.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's a bloody handprint, so it had to be there in the bloody...
Yeah, that's true.
I was protected by 2 security systems. I said, let's just present the handprint. I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. Contradict this with the handprint. It might just be like, you can't use it yet.
Yeah.
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood!
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall! Doesn't seem stressed.
Seems to me, there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime. Tell me why you dipped your hand in blood and smeared it all over the locker. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. How do you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Witness' explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be any fun without any doubt, partner. What the hell are you talking about? The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
That was such a bad testimony.
Yeah, this guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it.
Well, the frickin' locker is his locker,
Yeah.
and the jacket wasn't there, and then it was there in the video.
Yeah, but I don't know if we... let's press, and then
Yeah.
we'll see if we have a route. Press. I thought he was going to say something like, my fingerprints are on my locker. And then we'd be like, that's not your locker, because your fingerprints are over here.
And save. No, it is his locker. That's why he touched it.
What about the one that we found his other fingerprint at?
That one wasn't it. Because I don't remember whose it was, but no. Like the one with the coat is Jake Marshall's locker.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this fingerprint is not on that locker.
Yes, it is.
Oh, there's two, right? There's the one that's visible, and then there's the one that's invisible. We have the invisible one. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got confused. Hold it! That's because, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It's strange my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Okay, so it's his own locker, that's good. That got updated.
But we already knew that.
One of them just happened to be in the same place as my blood-stained hand. So then, what about the bloody handprint? It wasn't mine, it's no mystery.
Please explain. My locker's covered with my fingerprints. It's not. It just so happened the murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance.
Chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Oh, sorry. Whatever. Get one thing straight.
Reflections were a little off there.
Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint.
But you're doing great cold reading all this.
With a mere fingerprint. You want to know why? I do want to know why.
I do. I want to know why.
Bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated.
Unrelated?
They're as different as night and day.
Night and day.
Kind of like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder.
Or a number.
Or a television show. He's right, although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
I don't see what homonyms have to do with this.
Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
The seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape. Okay, now we
That's
get to
right.
that.
Let's get
So
the
long as my
security
trail
tape
isn't
out.
in there, you can't say otherwise.
Oh, but it is, girl.
Oh, but it is. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. I want to take a nap. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. I'm tired. I need my nappy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
You're so cute.
God, I hate my job.
Okay. And save again.
Okay.
Wait. Did we already... But it wasn't me in that...
That's a new piece of testimony, which we can now disprove. He just added that after we pressed.
Gotcha. Present.
Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. It does.
Okay, no, it's just gonna get us to
Press it?
press it, yeah.
Okay. What do you mean by that? Gosh.
You want time to the crime, isn't that right, partner?
Eh.
If so, that video's the only direct evidence you have.
Objection! But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth, so the floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Oh, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Show evidence.
Your Honor, I have evidence. It was the first thing we pointed out. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall, and you said it had nothing to do with anything.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating piece of evidence.
Fast forward. Alright, we do have
God.
threat of death on this one, which I don't think we had the last time we were messing around with the video. But it's an easier question this time.
And pause. Wait. And press.
Take that! Bring our attention back to the security camera. Is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. What does that mean? Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
He's got a short temper.
No,
He's gonna
what
get
does he mean the days are short in Texas?
He's just being like
he doesn't live in fucking Iceland where
no.
the time actually changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's dumb.
At the time of midsummer in Texas, the days last forever, or they last not long at all. Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. This locker. The one with the cloth.
That locker with the white cloth sticking out? That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Flip it and reverse it. Rewind. Say hello to our badger friend. Hello, badger. Hello, corpse of Meekins.
Well, living
Unconscious
corpse.
bod.
Unconscious bod.
Ah! Ha! You're so cooked, dude.
Oh, the white cloth! It's gone! What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. He's got really skinny legs.
Yeah.
Order! It would seem that's the only... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Yes, it does.
You're the only one that can open it, you idiot.
We've been through this.
But how did he not know that if he knew he had to prop open Goodman's locker with the glove?
Maybe it wasn't him, because there's that 77777 card that came in
So
earlier.
maybe somebody else said it.
I think it was Gant.
Yeah.
Gant has the master card. That all sevens
Yeah.
number seems like a master key.
So I wonder what he was doing there. Maybe he was there for something else. He was probably there for the SL9 incident stuff, and not actually for Goodman's murder. And it just worked in favor to...
But why is he dressed like Goodman? And only using Goodman's
to
card.
be able to go into it.
Well, because he's a patrolman now, and he's no longer
He's
on
not
the
a
case.
detective.
And he doesn't know about the fingerprints, so
Yeah.
when it opened, he didn't register that it was propped open.
So he really doesn't know about the fingerprint stuff, because he's like, that doesn't prove it was me, but it does.
Yeah, and we'll prove it now with evidence.
And Edward's like, you idiot.
Murderer needed to hide something, so we opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
You dumb sack of shit. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really is dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker? Now prove it.
Present locker.
The fingerprint sensor?
It's weird. It seems like we could have gone through this without pressing everything, but whatever.
I like pressing.
I like pressing everything too. I mean, ever since that first one where we had to press everything. We talked about this earlier today. Okay, great. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
Whoa, what kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
That was my worst Gumshoe.
Must be really
voice.
good, like, technology to instantly just, like, open, like, instantly for them, you know? Also, didn't they think their stuff... How did they think it was locked up and protected, then? Like, they just...
Just
trust
the
every
evidence. Well, he just
detective?
thought there was a security room and the ID card.
So Sheriff.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Ah, a new animation. He chews on his
I gotta
jerky.
eat my jerky.
I only got one word for you, partner. No!
That was exciting.
Was that 8 letters, though?
Order. Maybe. Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall.
Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime! Oh, Olay! Please answer the question. Sorry,
what is he now, a bullfighter?
sorry, I'm having a senior moment and I'm somewhere else.
No kidding.
I'm back in Barcelona in '69.
That's right. That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure... Sorry.
I believe
that we can figure out the rest from here.
No. That's closer to Gant.
Yeah.
I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can. I'm in Barcelona.
Have a look at these floor plans. Take a look at these floor plans. They're the only ones I've got. Yeah? There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so then, where was the witness?
Seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. He wears the victim's clothes.
Okay, I'm gonna save.
He looks so guilty, yo. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? He's the... Wait. Is Killer Meekins in this?
No.
Yes. Right?
No. This is Meekins. Victim?
The victim is
Killer.
Goodman, and we think Goodman is...
No. The victim who got knocked unconscious is Meekins.
Okay.
This is where he is.
Officer Marshall standing right here.
Hey, Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. It's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory.
The chamber's empty, partner. Better reload. I think I was right.
I'm
the
confused.
victim is Goodman, supposedly. Because Meekins was on trial here for killing him. So when we made this evidence thing...
No, but it was Meekins and pretend Goodman in here. Whatever, I'm just gonna do this. Unless they switch sides, because Meekins is the one that's ended up at the wall over there, right? Unconscious. So it's weird to me that it's this way, not the other way around, but I'll try.
I know it's confusing because we said that we're gonna, we've proven that he didn't die here. But he was standing here.
There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
The victim is Detective Goodman.
What the fuck? But even here, it's the other. It's.
That's the victim.
I know, no, but it's weird because the positions should have been the opposite then on that image. Do you not see? Because literally, he's on that side, and Meekins is on the frickin' side closer to the wall that's north.
I mean, I do think it's weird that there's a wall there. I just kind of assume that that's, nebulous, that's around the corner.
No, but even in the video, Meekins ended up against the wall, unconscious.
I think when we did the evidence room diagram, it was taken at the time they encountered each other.
Yeah, bullshit.
And if what you were saying is true, then he would have been farther back against the wall. He wouldn't be right next to the locker.
He was right against the wall.
Yeah, but...
No, but he was pushed back and punched back into it. That's how he was unconscious.
Anyway.
No, he was knocked unconscious and he fell backwards. That's what would have happened. It's stupid. Anyways, I knew what I was doing.
Okay.
That's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was, and nothing about it was confusing at all.
Ugh, gross.
Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall.
And we've also already established that he's not a victim anymore.
That's what I think is the most confusing thing.
Yeah.
Because it's
now Meekins is the victim because he was the one that was assaulted.
Yeah. But we have to remember that in the context of the very first time we made this evidence diagram, this is what we were thinking about. And Goodman's always there. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman.
But those preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene.
No, he's face blind. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. No, he's face blind. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Officer Goodman. Detective Goodman, rather. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his cards, sir. Yes? Oh, yes. And how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it. I'm catching up slowly.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You got quite an imagination, partner.
We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining.
You already made that joke.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the
Yeah, but we know for a fact that you were in there.
Yeah. Desert heat. Couldn't take the desert heat.
Ack! This can't be happening.
You just need to get into that locker.
It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Edgeworth, help!
Humph.
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
Gasp.
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box.
We're inside the box. Because that's where the code is.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime.
Edgeworth was like, come on, boyfriend.
Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. There's also a cloth in there for some reason. God knows what that's about. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video was the key to all our unanswered questions? Yes. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. I know what frame to click on, by the way.
Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
So, show the moment the bloodstain happened on his coat.
Is that it?
I think so. Yeah. Because we don't see him after that. There. Yeah. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked. Look at his little frowny face. And the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
I'm Meekins. A bloody white coat.
Sir, I'm frowning, sir. Sir. It's like one of those Muppets. Is it the Banana Man Muppets? No, it's Beaker.
No,
it's
no.
Beaker.
It's, Beaker.
Beaker and Meekins. Meeker and Beacons. Beaker Meekins. Something's there. I won't strain my poor little
Please
brain
don't.
cells about it.
I'm recovering. You're getting worse.
I'm deteriorating. Okay, you couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the code in your locker. They're all gonna sound like Edgeworth by the end of this stream. Not bad, partner. Nothing, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright. Seems the time has come.
Marshall's confession! Get his ass.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. I'm okay with all of that. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
There was way too much blood for such a small donation.
It was in the vase or something. The one that smashed.
Right. There was. We can't blood test anything. We don't know whose blood is on it, but it's long dried. It's like old blood.
Marshall's confession.
I had to do it that day. Well, what did you have to do?
And we press. Hold that.
When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner?
SO9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence.
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID.
And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
Well, especially because he didn't know that he needed Goodman's fingerprint to open that locker.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely something else is at play here.
He's too dumb.
Somebody put this message in his ear to look into this file before it was too late.
Yeah.
What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck inside the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall.
I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out.
Why did you hurt him? He's a baby. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID? I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Also, it's a good thing he did follow the rules.
Yeah.
Anyway, he threw himself at me. I ended up cutting him slightly. Sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
I don't know what to say.
So, knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera.
So you did your research beforehand?
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
He was knocked out.
He's fucking dead.
What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker. Oh, that's that worthless.
Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Ratworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
You're in court. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This is no small offense, not to mention your accent. Your cowboy persona.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. We're gonna cut your
Did they
throat.
do that? Can you get your salary cut?
I want to cut my celery. He's cutting back on his calories, actually.
Oh, no, that's all.
That's why his legs are so skinny, because he's cutting back on his calories.
Okay, you can read this. He says it
I'm
right.
workshopping all the jokes.
He says it right there. He says it right there.
I gotta get them all out there!
Ah!
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Amen.
Well, like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine, and I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
Even get a salary cut.
Yeah. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
More?
I can't just forget this SL9 incident. You know why?
I don't! Press on it!
Okay, I just want to say it. That's what's happened.
Press!
Hold it, but why?
Why? Tell me why! But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? Phoenix, you know that it was forged evidence.
Well, that's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
It's like the main thing about it.
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? The judge was asleep. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
So maybe he wasn't put up to it by Gant, but maybe it was just coincidence that Gant had already visited the locker. And Gant had just messed up by leaving the
Well, I think maybe more of the blood came afterwards. I think somebody came in there and doctored things a little bit. Because they're saying the amount of blood that was there could not have just been from Officer Meekins' hand.
But, okay, so then that would mean that Gant and Goodman were in there. Oh, you think that... So are you saying that Goodman was murdered elsewhere and then they carted his blood in and poured it over the floor?
There might be something like that, or someone knew that this was going to happen, or something like this would happen, or saw it and decided to use it to their advantage.
Yeah, I think it might be that
That's
second one.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is? I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later.
Can I present anything?
Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. Alright. So now it's telling us to present the files for some reason.
Well, let's look at the files. One more
Is it because he
time.
just wanted to be head investigator, or...?
I just want to get to the last.
Yeah.
Let's just check.
Perpetrator Joe Dark, sentenced death, serial murder. Rachel Moss. Neil Marshall! His brother was one of the victims, or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Miles Edgeworth on a Sky, Emma Sky. The executive investigators were Gant and Sky. The head investigator was Bruce Goodman, and Marshall and Starr were under him.
Yeah, you could be right. Marshall is on this one.
Yeah.
So let's present it.
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. You're just gonna give it to us, huh?
Mm-hmm.
In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What?
But it wasn't damaged.
A
at the
prosecutor? Good catch. He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Is he also a cowboy? Wild. He handled the SL9.
time. Or maybe that's why he changed. He took on this persona for his brother? Did it say it was a brother? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he said the brother. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? Or maybe they didn't say.
Oh, yeah.
He was my brother.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Ah, sad.
He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police.
The real murderer.
Oh, he was the last victim, I think.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to tell from the order, but it was bottom right, which would indicate
Was
last.
it?
Yeah, his Neil Marshall name is on the bottom right of the...
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So if he was investigating it, he got too close.
Mm-hmm. Got too close.
The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. Oh. Interesting. He was arraigned and incarcerated. Well, incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions.
There's someone he trusted.
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
But where'd all the blood come
Where
from?
are the blood?
It's gotta be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Objection! But wait, a verdict wasn't reached yet in yesterday's trial.
Just gonna save.
A verdict wasn't
save.
reached.
What?
Sorry, I'm just screaming. I'm just yelling.
Objection to your objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me the boys got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office, the only suspect, Lana Skye.
But what is her motive?
And the testimony of one Miss Angel Stars
And
completely
she's
incontestable.
evil.
Also, her testimony was a
What a
shambles.
shit show!
If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
arg!
Thank you. I rest my case. Seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
But we found out things.
No doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for a verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Hold it.
Hold it.
It's Emma!
Your Honor, wait.
Emma.
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection!
She gonna point out the blood?
Yeah.
Right?
What do you mean, Wright? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Sure.
Your Honor, in a sense, please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends.
He's definitely changed since last. He's softened.
Yeah.
He's gotten smarter and more fair and more, let's actually come down to the truth here.
Well, I also think it's in his own interest because all these like suspicions of him not being good. He's a rogue with a heart of gold.
I don't think you read that yet.
I know. I'm just mooning over Edgeworth.
Who are you? Aw, cute.
You want a minute? Sorry. Edgeworth and Marshall are almost the same voice except one has a slight southern accent. So it's really hard to like switch between them.
You want a minute?
You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
three.
You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
I'm sad.
I love her little sad face. It's so cute.
I'm sad.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. How did you get in?
She has the card.
Oh wait, she's got the guest pass.
So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Dot dot dot.
Okay. Well, why are you here?
Yeah. Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you! Me?
Me? Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident in the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
It's the wrong hand, I think.
Well, not only that, but it's like in the middle of the camera's like trajectory. So there's no way he would have touched it while getting to the other locker. Because he had to have ducked underneath to make sure he wasn't seen by it. And the closer you are to the camera itself, the less likely you are to be seen by it. So
Yeah, like where did it come from? Why isn't there video evidence of this?
Yeah.
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now.
What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
Let's see.
But if that doesn't work, I think it's the other thing is that Lana's hand is her other hand. And that handprint is the other wrong hand. Something I'm missing? I object! There's no problem. The handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction! The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing?
You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? You might be absolutely right. Yes, something that when drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Is it the camera?
Well, it might also be the blue badger.
Yeah, the blue badger. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
Okay, blue badger?
It's either blue badger or glove. I mean, the glove isn't marked. Hold on, is the handprint? That's the wrong glove for the handprint.
It's also... There's also the unstable jar here, too.
But that's not really like... I think the badger is probably the main thing.
I think it is. Let's go with badger.
What about that piece of plywood? He gets to say it? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Don't know why I emphasized yourself. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So? You brought it up. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Oh, he was that close, huh? Well?
Well, what?
Ah! That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Guess we weren't ever really paying attention during while seeing the video. Oh, you poor thing. Can you use some water?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to hold off on doing voices. Everyone's gonna have a normal voice for a little while, because...
Maybe I'll attempt.
You wanna do something? 'Cause they're all in the back of my throat.
So that means... Oh, I don't even know. I'm not as good as David.
No, this is good.
Wait, can you do the voice for a second?
And it's
So that
slightly
means,
British, too.
just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. Huh, so that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Yeah, it is directly right in front of that locker. Wild. So you can't even tell if there's blood on it right now in this moment.
Yeah, I thought it was closer to the camera because it's so big, but I guess it's just big.
Yeah. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Accept it, baby.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
I like the wiggle. The wiggle adds a lot for me.
Thank you. That's right! The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place?
Would this be the autopsy report?
There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please prevent its evidence?
Prevent
Safe?
its evidence or
Present! And I will prevent it because I'm lousy at my job. Wait, say it. Okay, I wasn't really paying attention because I was just reading. Okay.
So now we're tasked with finding an evidence that proves what time the actual murder took place.
Well, there's the ID card record.
But Wright also said there's only one piece of evidence. I mean, this is pretty good.
There's a 420 time.
There's the blank time. But can you look at the autopsy report just to see what it says?
It does give us a gap
Yeah.
of time.
So maybe we could present that. We'll be like, it could take place anytime. Within an hour and a half of 4 p.m.
So it could have happened at 2:30. And the murder supposedly happened at the same time. At
4:20 is an ideal time where we have a blank. I mean, this might point the finger at Edgeworth, because he could have been murdered 10 minutes before the badger comes in.
Let's go for it. Wait. Oh, anyways.
This is the proof. It's quite simple, you see. If it's so simple, then don't get it wrong. Huh? Okay, so it's not the autopsy report.
Right.
Whatever, it's the ID record then.
I'm mining. Shit.
Sometimes they say things that I'm like, well, now it sounds like, you know, like when they're like, there's only one piece of evidence. I'm like, well, there's two. You know? In my mind, the autopsy report. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. In order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah! Ah! Miles Edgeworth. Miles Edgeworth. Miles Edgeworth. Just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. No, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime scene was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Fortunately, that's physically impossible. Well, I don't know if it's impossible, but...
It definitely would be messy.
Yeah. It would mean there's like many people probably working on it. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. 7777777. What? Only one other
7 sevens.
There's only one other card number remaining.
Should have been 666666666.
Because he's a demon.
Yeah.
Talk
And
about
6 sixes, not 7 sevens. Because that means it's like a really holy number.
Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that
Those
doesn't
are
make
going
sense.
by luck rather than like Christian numbers. Yeah.
How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer.
Oh, so someone went with him, and yeah, he opened it up.
Yeah.
But then, why would... do you think that glove being there was meant to be there?
That's what I was saying. I thought it... Because, like, in the world of this game, I think it's plausible that Gant did this and, like, closed... Like, okay, because the vase was smashed, but he didn't have any blood for his trauma.
I think that it was done on purpose, and then whoever did murder Goodman planted it in Marshall's ear to... That was his last chance.
It's certainly more exciting,
Yeah,
and it's a little bit more becoming of
That's
Gant,
what I
who I
think
think is like
happened.
a mastermind.
Yeah. Did you read this?
Yeah,
let's see.
Yeah, we talked about it anyway. It's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's what. Oh, I didn't even read it because I thought he would have gotten it right. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. I did the right number. He did. Unfortunately, I'm able to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number, 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
But that's ridiculous! Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If a judge gives us that authority?
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay.
let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you, to her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid, she's been charged with murder. Of course I've looked up her ID number. We've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. It's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SO9 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
No.
She's here.
Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Gasp.
Lana. I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't!
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence.
She did it.
Dang.
You'll go to jail for this. Not murder, but for this. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Ah, we hate this!
The drama.
All our identical quintuplets.
Order. You did say
Order,
order.
yeah.
Lana's remarks caused such a stir the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial
Would have to wait until the following day. To be continued. Okay, I'm gonna close this window. I heard some...
Yeah, it's getting a little chilly.
And I heard some chatter as well. I just want to make sure that doesn't bleed in.
Yeah, that window's open and that window's open.
Oh, do you want me to go?
No, that's fine. I just wanted...
Yeah, I like a little bit of air, I think.
Yeah, a little bit there.
A little bit of air.
A little less than... Because now it is getting a little bit more cold. Like,
Are these the same cookies you had last time?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
I'm always tempted by a chocolate chip, and I always forget that I don't like those cookies.
They're so good, David. Eat them.
You want
Eat
me?
it.
I want-
Eat it right now. Eat
Fine.
it. Eat it. Eat it.
Ick.
It's so dry.
It's chewy.
No, it's dry.
It's nice.
Sound off in the chat if you are a fan of oatmeal chocolate chip.
So good. David thinks oatmeal in a cookie is for old people. I'm like,
And I
if
stand
there's
by
raisins in it, yeah. But there's chocolate chips in it. So it's good.
Oatmeal is like the healthy version. It's like, oh, we don't want to like use like flour, so let's like use oats because it's healthier.
You still use the same amount of flour.
Not the same amount because there's oats.
No, the oats don't do the same thing as the flours
Don't
do.
they?
No.
Isn't it like structure?
No, it's just for texture and flavor.
Anyway, it's like if you want to ruin a cookie, put oats in it.
If you want to make it better, you
My
put oats
stance
in
on oatmeal cookies has gotten steadily more conservative.
it. You know what I also like in smoothies?
What?
Oatmeal.
Smoothies in oatmeal?
Mhm.
Oatmeal in smoothies?
Yeah. Gives it a nice texture.
Like just dry oatmeal in a smoothie?
Yeah. Like only like a quarter cup in a big thing. Like not very
A
much.
quarter cup of oatmeal?
Okay, anyways.
Couldn't be me.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright.
Don't be sorry, girl. You did great.
You don't have to say that again. I just put my nose as you said that.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said.
I don't know, it was just funny to me. I'm sorry for what my sister said.
I'm sorry for what my sister said so seductively and sensationally on the stand.
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved, even forging evidence.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean what
So
happened
Joe
to you?
Dark was probably definitely guilty of some things.
No, I don't know because, well, like, Marshall was saying that, like, Joe Dark couldn't have killed his brother because...
Yeah, his brother. I just think I don't think he was a good person. I think Lana knew for a fact that he was a bad person. But he wasn't the one committing those murders. I think because it sounds like he did something to Emma.
Oh. Okay, let's see what happens. What do you mean what happened to you?
It's all there in the file.
Joe Dark's last victim was... Okay, so I was right. Was Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
Uh-huh. So that means you...
Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
I didn't see that one coming, even though I read the file multiple times in court where it said that she was a witness.
This is wild. Wait. So did she actually see what she thinks she saw?
Well, who knows? Anything's up for examination.
Okay, talk. Talk, Emma.
It happened
Talk
2 years
now.
ago. It was right about this time of year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together when she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Joe Dark.
It seemed like he was running from someone.
He pulled a knife and screamed at me. Like that.
I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then,
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture? What did you see in the instant that the crime occurred?
Tell me.
Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised a knife. Also, his head looked like an onion.
Yeah.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
Ooh.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma. You've been through so much.
Yeah, but you don't know what happened from that moment, from the time you woke up.
Yeah, like maybe it was just a thin wound and Dark.
I think Dark was just trying to defend himself, like his own innocence.
What if he was being chased by Gant?
Or that somebody else was trying to kill him. Or he thought, yeah. And things were said, and then Gant was like, oh. Yeah. But then why didn't Joe Dark say anything about who the real person was? Anyways, we'll find out.
Did Emma say he came trying to kill her? And
Yeah, that's what she assumes.
Right, he came like barging in.
He was about to hold her hostage.
Oh, I see. He's holding her hostage, right? So he was armed. He's a desperate man. Okay.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out.
And it looked exactly the same.
Yeah, well, it was only a year ago. Oh no, it's 2 years.
2 years ago.
Yeah. Children make mistakes.
I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
You drew a picture. It's like a stick figure drawing in crayon.
This is the knife. I'm 15 years old.
2 years ago, you must have been 14 years old. That's understandable. I can't do math.
It's okay.
I thought she was 17 for some reason. I think it's because I'm doing a very similar voice to her that I do for my D&D character who's 17 years old.
Okay.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies.
I don't actually know very well how that song goes, clearly.
Find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime.
After the incident.
I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? Bogus, Jed.
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence.
Even so.
Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. This is maybe why she wants to go to jail. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor.
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective office is in the questioning room right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly, didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective? I better have another talk with her.
Off to
Lana!
Lana.
Lana!
Detention Center. February 24th. Detention Center. Visitors.
The way the shadow is on that guard kind of makes it like he has a Hitler stash.
I see it.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Lana. Lana.
Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble.
Yes.
Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, why should we?
But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you.
Oh?
About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. In this world, prosecutors and detectives are basically the same thing. Can you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Let's chat, Lana. Give us the dirty deeds. A lot of revelations were uncovered today at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? ... I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth! It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
She was amazing. I'm all good with her now. Happy, happy, happy.
She's with Gant.
Yeah, something's sketch.
They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant?
He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant, he was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so that you could use that experience in court, right?
That is a bananas plan. To go through, like, police and detective training and not law school because you want to be a prosecutor.
I mean, it seems like this is what
Everyone's a
Phoenix
detective.
is doing.
Yeah.
Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution.
Oh, I bet it was.
After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
Did we read that in the file?
Second in command?
That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right?
Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations.
They even had the same office.
Scandalous.
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. A cowboy, Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr.
But what about Neil Marshall? Was that his name?
Neil was a prosecutor.
But he's also there.
That's Jake Marshall.
No, Jake is up there. Who's the guy in the bottom left?
Oh, I didn't even see that guy, but that is Neil.
Yeah.
So, but maybe he's just in the room because they're talking to the prosecution.
It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. I'm afraid of the dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me.
Now you tell us. Tell us about it.
Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So we waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down and then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy
Dat booty.
Deputy Jeff.
Deputy Jeff Gann and myself. That's where he found me.
So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. So, okay, just to pause for a sec.
So he wasn't running to Lana's office, he was running to Gant's office because he probably knew that Gant was trying to frame him for the murder and realized he could find something in Gant's office maybe. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana.
It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. They couldn't see him very well because it was dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
3 bodies?
Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark.
Okay, it had Felix's name still up there.
Oh.
But it was Lana who was saying that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The previous slide had Phoenix saying the beginning of this sentence, and then as it switched over here, it was Lana. Okay.
During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious.
This is the vase. What did you do?
To be honest, I panicked.
Wait, didn't the vase break before? I mean, later? It was found in pieces. I don't know. We'll see. You could be right.
I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest.
Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident.
That's right. Quite a coincidence,
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet.
Huh?
Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The Chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office. The site of the final SL9 murder. Oh, we're gonna get that Gant. Oh, we're gonna get him. Oh, he's so got. Let's go. Police station, baby. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere.
Things seem kind of quiet around here today.
You're right. Chief of Detectives seems the same, though.
Why don't we look for some other people to talk to?
Right. We can come back here later.
Okay.
What? Okay. We'll go here, then. Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck would have run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy?
Must be his pet cactus. We have a dried up pet cactus.
Rest in peace.
We have several. Some are in the garbage and some are just in their pots, mocking us. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one.
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall,
would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. We've got questions. Dark trial. Talk to us. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me, neither. Either. All the detectives thought so.
What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SO9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains.
I don't know, he seems to have the looks too.
Yeah, he's handsome. He's a nice looking guy. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
How old
I was thinking about
your brother.
the Law and Order introduction where it's like, in the criminal justice system, there are two opposing branches. The police officers that investigate the case and the people who prosecute them. These are their stories. I don't know what exactly is. How old was he, your brother? I'm gonna need more water in a sec.
I'll get you some more water.
Give us some more water, please. He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? Huh. I knew it. I knew it. Ooh. Why is this popping up? Get out of
I
here.
do not know, go away.
What are you looking at me for? Like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. I want to look at the names again to see if we on that thing. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Huh? Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. Oh, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye.
Two people that got promoted.
But Gant gave the promotion to Skye. He's the one who moved her around. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second in command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Oh wait, sorry, that was Phoenix. Whatever. Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. Interesting, interesting. She's never been the same since she left. Question mark? Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. My goodness. Well, there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out. In court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Has he been sucking on it without a cap this whole time? As well.
You mean with a cap on it?
That's what I mean. Like
or without the cap off?
He's just been like, goo goo gaga. I like to pretend to drink. So he's actually drinking now. He's actually upset. Sad. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina.
Ah! That's kind of sad.
It is kind of sad.
He's redeemed himself mostly to me.
He's a bit of a fool, but he was set up.
Okay, well, let's try to go back in.
This is always pretty empty, but today is deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. We talked to him before.
Yeah.
With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do, about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media, and tomorrow's trial. Why is everyone so masculine? There's more chaos going on. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office, and I'm sure you'll have no problem with that. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, great. I'll just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Oh, no. I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Yeah, we're in, baby. We're in. Oh my god.
Oh my god, villainous organ?
Oh my god.
What is this, Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
Christmas edition?
It's Tim Curry organ. Ah! Wild. Whoa, where am I?
Yeah.
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten.
My sister was preparing me for this all along.
You took organ lessons in kindergarten? Like, not piano, organ. That's wild.
I mean, someone's gotta learn.
I saw a video of someone playing the organ the other day, and it's like, I always forget, like, the organ is a full body.
Yeah, you're like
instrument.
moving all over.
You're like wiggling around.
Yeah, your feet are going everywhere.
Anyway. That's my impression of an organ.
Oh my god, this next line.
They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes.
Whoop.
I mean, that sounded alright to me.
I never could remember where C was.
Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk.
So, Righto, have you been swimming lately?
No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct.
And Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there?
Oh, it is broken. You're right.
Okay.
That's a picture of Lana. The vase!
Oh yeah, the vase. Look at that.
Wild.
That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
And a weird purple, or not purple, like golden robot thing.
So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. In the court record. Oh, it's that thing in the corner there. It's
Yeah.
a statue.
Anything else? Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm gonna lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out! I have a meeting to attend.
Ugh. He's a snake.
He's honestly, I'm really happy that I kind of landed on a voice
I think
that's
it's a great voice for him.
appropriate for him.
Oh, I think it's so good.
And I really like voicing Gan. He's my
Yeah.
favorite guy to
That's
to
great.
voice.
It looks like we aren't welcome.
It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. We have his ID card. No. Yeah, we have the ID card still, don't we?
No, not Gans.
What's the guest ID card? It works for everything.
I don't know. Let's go back in.
Is he gonna kick us out again if we try? Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
Alright, Gumshoe, what do you know? But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this...
Are there really so many people who hate him?
In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey Dick, keep up the good work! Yes sir! Let's go out for lunch again sometime.
Dick?
My treat.
Or Richard.
What's that?
His name's either Dick or Richard. It's because Dick is short for Richard.
Yeah. It's probably like Dick Tracy is probably the reference.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, anyways.
Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir! You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir!
God.
Seems like you don't have any problems with... It seems like you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. You're huge. You're so tall. Okay, it's fine. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth.
Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Doc left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl?
Me.
It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl, despite the fact that there were only 2 witnesses called, and one of them was her. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory.
Joe Doc was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So it was an accident.
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal? A puppy dog?
He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed. Oh, you're.
I didn't press that.
He killed. A kid walked by. He killed him. Then he was burying the body. The jogger came from the scene, and he was killed as well. And finally, he turned himself in.
It was doing it all by itself.
Seems like he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. Wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Doc was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. Alright, show him the
It said
knife.
to present him something.
Yes.
Not that I need to. Just kidding. So, wait.
The knife.
I have to go present.
Not that knife, the other knife. About this. Hey, is that... It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again!
Talk to us. Murder weapon. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? Well, that's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it, too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
How did it break inside him, though?
Stabbed in the back. Oh, we got Neil's autopsy report. Stabbed in the back, died from a puncture-hardened lung. A knife tip was in the wound. Switchblade knife updated. The broken tip was found in the victim's body. Belonged to murderer Joe Dark. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
The Chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. I was right.
You were.
What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Don't you worry.
Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. I thought he said caned for a second, and I was
I'd
like,
be
you
caned. Off the stage you go.
No, I was thinking like beat him with a cane.
Oh.
Like that's what
I'd be
caning means.
caned.
No, like old school corporal punishment. Spanking with a cane.
Spanky with a cane.
It's what they did in like old British private schools. The headmaster would take out a cane and get the misbehaving boys would get beaten with the
like
cane.
a switch.
Yeah, but a cane.
Yeah, brutal, awful. That would just make me. Well, I think I'd leave. Anyways, keep going.
I mean, I don't know if you'd have the option.
I don't know if I'd have.
In a boarding school at 14 years old, who knows?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh, dang.
Darn, the data was deleted. Oh. I didn't see what it said.
It just said, oh.
Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind.
Present. There's this, or...
We can show him our badge. Maybe the...
Or this.
The photograph?
Or this.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about that. About that jar, I think I've seen it somewhere before. Somewhere? Maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before?
Now we show him. What the fuck? It's in the photo!
If you check the photo, can you like click on the vase?
Oh no, it's not letting me move anything.
Okay.
I can't examine it. Okay, what else do we got here?
Present the badge. Be like, I'm a defense attorney. Detective, here's my attorney's badge. You show this to me every time we meet, pal. Real men show their police badge. Enough said. I will say that we're getting close to time as well.
I know, it's crazy. I just want to keep going. Oh my god, it is really close.
Maybe we can get into the office. And
Yeah,
save there.
I wish I had a badge. Even an ID card would be nice.
Well, should we show him the ID card? I mean, we already talked about it without presenting it. Yeah. This ID card belongs to the victim, Bruce Goodman. Detective Bruce Goodman. You can just do about anything with these cards. The card and secret number is scary. It's only scary because you keep dropping your card, Detective Gumshoe. I forget my secret number a lot, too. I'm scared of myself. But I'm me, after all. Now, what could be wrong with that? I think I'll stay out of this conversation.
Just show him this one.
Hey, that's it! That's the King of Prosecutors Award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the award ceremony, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself. Congratulations.
I was wondering, why is the award a shield?
I think we've already gone through this.
And why is it broken? Oh, yeah.
Oh, but you know, the sword part is missing. There is something missing from this compared to the picture.
There was a sword on the one
Like,
in the picture?
yes, we can look at the picture.
Okay. Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. Apparently he's forgot it.
Should I do it? I'll look at it just or I could. I just want to see.
Hey, it looks like all the names of the previous name. Wow, one guy's listed a bunch of times. Von Karma. He was a foreigner. Yeah. He's an amazing prosecutor. I'd like to meet him. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about anything else.
I was just wondering. Okay, but if we look at the photo, there's like a in front of it,
Right.
but it's not there now.
Uh-huh. Is that the murder weapon, do you think?
Oh, because yeah, it's not actually the blade that is matching up with people's. With the what actually killed the people doesn't match the wound.
Yeah. And so if the wound was larger, say a knife.
Yeah, and this definitely looks bigger. And it also has a tip broken.
Yeah. Like. So he just broke the tip in there after the fact. What can we show this guy? The SL9 incident? That's what we've been talking about a lot. I've been studying up on those files. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. To think people are accusing him of injustice, I for one ain't buying it, pal! You're looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, it was a pretty big deal when it was going on, you know. After all, a serial killer was on the loose. But Lana was pretty clear in her confession. She forged evidence in order to prove Joe Dark guilty. I know we're going late, folks, but we are going to go late just to get to the office, I think.
Yeah. What else do we want to present? We could just do everything, but I kind of...
I know, like, it's weird because I feel like it was a good call to do the vase and then the picture, but he doesn't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Let's try the picture one more time, just because we should.
Yeah.
Is there anything to talk about?
We can present Neil's autopsy. It's about the crime scene.
No.
Doesn't care. Fine.
Fine, we'll share everything. I'm just going over it.
Yeah. Didn't know anything about that. Handprint.
Wait, oh, I can't believe Officer Marshall.
You know Officer Marshall? Of course I do! He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus. Really? He said, Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles. Note yourself, Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus. Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Wait, can I talk to him? Wait, did something change there?
I mean, that's just... He's responded to a few pieces of evidence with, like, new dialogue.
Yeah.
No locker can be opened with a fingerprint mask. Besides, there's no reason for the murder touching the locker. Wasn't your locker the one with the blood on it, detective? Gloved hand without any fingerprints. Shh! They come to arrest me, you'll defend me, won't you? If that happens, I think you'll do better pleading with Edgeworth. Doesn't know anything with that. Lost item report, huh? Very impressive, detective. You knew what it was right off the bat. I am a master of misplacement, you know. Master, that has such a cool ring to it.
He could have just lost his card.
The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. There's a higher power at work here. Wow, a higher power. Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence.
No.
Anything about the screwdriver. Hey, that powder's used for detecting fingerprints. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth gave it to us. He did what? All I have is some flour. Are you okay, detective? Quick! Run! Achoo! Did you ruin our powder? If it any help, one time I took a nap on a bench with wet paint. Why am I not comforted? Oh, we still got it, okay. That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. Oh, we didn't even think to present this.
Yeah.
The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. 777-777-7. That's 17 too many, detective. Gotta start reading those. An executive officer. I just might have a hunch. Did he make it do it? Present it again. I just bought some of that stuff. I can go around detecting blood things. Add 3 inches to your base height. Hey, base height, let me see that. Looming tall. New and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces?
Well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol.
So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face.
Okay, do you want me to present this again?
Just because, yeah. Okay, he's just gonna do the same thing. I just like wondered if we had to present it once and then present it twice. And...
Yeah, you never know.
My goodness! We're in the brute force era.
We can present this one.
Hey, is the tag? It's a murder weapon? What are you doing with that? That's not going to lock. We already put this, yeah. This is the thing about the thing.
Already presented that, already presented that, already presented. Wait, no, different knife.
Shoe. I don't know anything about the shoe. Maybe we need to collect evidence from someone else.
I know, we might need to do that, that's true. This might just be a waste of time, but alas.
He's 16. Maybe it's just nonsense, it's just character nonsense.
We may as well commit, we're almost done.
Yeah. He doesn't know nothing. I also wonder if we need to check the evidence that we have.
Please do. Oh, what?
What are you talking about? This guy in the bloodstain on that evidence locker with his life. It's more than you can say about most offices nowadays.
It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well.
I have to admit, he's right though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we were able to prove another possibility today. The possibility that another murder took place prior... Sorry, losing it. The possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15. Found Mr. Edwards' car, stabbed with Mr. Edwards' knife, huh? What would drive Chief Prosecutor Sky to do such a thing? Wait, I mean, sure, of course, someone else really did it. Yeah. Someone must have a grudge.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just...
Oh, it's the knife. This is the same. Okay.
Okay, we're moving away, because we don't have anything.
Can we go to Edward's office? Talk to him, maybe? Or maybe we should just call it there. Oh. No one's here today, not even Miss Star. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m.
Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway into our case.
But instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Edgy? Are you in here? I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is! Looks like he's writing something.
What are you doing here? We're doing Edgeworth, baby. He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. We're taking it.
Yeah.
Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. I can fix him. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. I want to chat! There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why? Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Let it out, Edgy. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? Huh. First last year's trial and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me.
Oh,
Oh, he likes it though.
The be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
Ha!
But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
Give us that piece of paper.
What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd.
After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time.
Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
That picture, something seemed strange about it. Can you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back?
This.
Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, why did he ask you?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to.
That's right. He had to be positioned here so that he could also be a suspect in the crime. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes?
The trophy, Mr.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
This
We've
has
been
to
going for 2.5 hours.
this has to be the last conversation. I'm gonna die.
You need more water?
I need water.
Oh, I thought there was water still in it. I could have gotten you water.
No. I need it. How y'all doing out there in Twitch land? Ugh. Really? In front of chat?
Mm-hmm.
Despicable. Gonna get us demonetized.
Lol. Okay.
If you stay demonetized, you don't ever have to get demonetized.
Is that true?
I'm joking.
Okay.
Because it's like if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's like the phrase. So I'm saying if you stay demonetized, you don't have to get demonetized.
Cute.
The trophy Mr. Marshall's holding. It's a little different than yours.
Thanks for noticing.
Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago.
Sus.
There's a story behind its design.
I wonder if it was broken,
Even earlier?
yeah, like if it was used for something and then it was used again, you know what I mean?
Like if he keeps doing serial murders on the transferal dates because his previous crimes are being erased so he can start up again?
Maybe.
There's a story behind its design.
A story?
Once upon a time. Sounds interesting. Mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Okay, explain yourself. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake? Very well. Story time!
Woo!
Long ago, in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Objection. Those claims contradict each other! Very perceptive, but then again, you've heard the story before, right? Anyway, you mentioned the very description of the items to discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Okay.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Let's see, so they are broken like that.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. King and Prosecutor's trophy updated in the court record. So maybe now we can present that to him? Okay, but we should stop.
Wait, we're almost there.
Okay, then you're gonna read.
Okay. Is somebody gonna stop us here?
Don't stop me now. It is someone.
Excuse me. Would either of you care for a 1/4 pound of roast beef? Miss Star, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go taking up that case from 2 years ago.
I don't like the stank you put on nipple. I know it's her voice, but still.
Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten.
I have a new theory about what this woman witnessed. The knife was still in his body.
Yeah.
And she pulled it out.
Yeah.
You didn't present that theory to me.
Well, no.
So, like, because I kept coming back to, like, why is she, like, making up this thing of him, like, because...
I definitely think she thinks she saw what she saw. And she wants to be like, oh my god,
like, that part never made sense to me, because I was like, why, like, he's dead in the trunk, why is she testifying that they're both standing holding a knife? But, like, maybe she hoisted the body up and pulled the knife out in a really dramatic fashion.
Who knows? Miss Star's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? We will stop here. Because we have to have a conversation with her, it looks like.
Okay, yeah, we're stopping. We'll remember that we...
It's just getting so good! I want to know what happened.
And we want to get that Gant.
I want to get Gant.
Alright, let's go back to
I also want to discover it actually is Gant, because maybe it's not Gant.
It's definitely Gant.
I mean, it feels like
There's only one person left, and everything's leading to him really, like, definitively now.
Yeah, but I mean, that might just be a red herring. Like a... There
Who
might
else
be,
would it
like,
be,
another
though?
twist. I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for, keeping up with us, even though we're sick. I mean, I'm feeling a lot better now.
That's good.
It's like, I'm getting out of it, while David is just, like, getting into it.
So we're going to sign off. Thank you again for joining us. This was a fun one. And we'll see you at the next one. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Mwah.
Mwah.